Thank you for joining our webinar. The purpose of the webinar is to give you an overview of literature review with ATLAS.ti 8 Windows. You can call me Ani. At any time after the webinar today, you want to send me an email. My email address is as stated on your screen, ani.monira@atlasti.com. And if you need urgent attention, you can also contact us by telephone. That's our phone number. Our office hours are following the Kuala Lumpur and Singapore time zone. What will I be covering in this 1 hour webinar presentation? I will be speaking about 45 minutes on the outline of the presentation, points number 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to devote some time towards the end of the presentation for Q&A. But you do not have to wait until the Q&A session. You can simply type in the chat box any of your questions, and I'll be collecting all your questions and addressing them at the end of the presentation. I will begin by elaborating on some of the common problems in doing literature review, alright, and of course how ATLAS.ti can help to overcome these problems. And then I'm going to dive in straight into the 3 steps process of doing literature review using ATLAS.ti. Now you don't have to be using any computer software to be going through this 3-step process, because eventually you will be doing all these 3 with or without any softwares. Number 1, you're going to prepare the literature review. You're going to prepare the literature for the purpose of review. This would involve the collection of literature, preparing them, adding them to the project, okay? And then the second step is to go through the literature, which would involve the step of reading, understanding, making sense of what is contained in the literature. And number 3 is to prepare the written review based on your understanding in step number 2. Okay, because we're using a computer software, I'm going to teach you how to do a backup of your project, okay, in ATLAS.ti 8 Windows before we go for the Q&A session. Now, first and foremost, what are the common problems in doing literature review? Of course, there are many types of problems faced by researchers in doing literature review, but I'm going to focus on 3, okay, of them, which are the major ones faced by researchers. Number 1, the problem is the researcher got no system to manage the literature. This means that the literature are being collected, and since there is no proper system to manage the literature, some of them are downloaded in soft copy format, some of them are in hard copy format, some of them are kept in a different machine, some of them are kept in file folders, for example. And you will know that we have this problem when at the moment we want to download one article in front of us, we will be asking ourselves, I think I have downloaded this article before, but I do not know where I have kept it. For the purpose of security, I might as well download it again. By all means, at the end of the day, we realize that we have duplicate documents because we have downloaded them before. Okay? Now, the second problem is there is no system to manage the important points in the literature. Now, this is very common, especially when a researcher keeps reading and reading without a system of putting down ideas, jotting down ideas in whatever formats that they want. Maybe some of them will write in short notes, maybe they will put in ideas in front using word processor, for example. Okay, but if there is no proper system, again, the researcher would be asking themselves, when they are reading one particular reference, they will be asking themselves, I think I have read this somewhere, but I cannot remember where. I cannot remember who previously mentioned about this, and I also cannot remember what is the publication, in which year was it published, but I know that I have come across this idea before. But we have this some sort of problem that we cannot link back to where and when that we have read this particular point before. Finally, the third problem is the writer's block problem. This is normally faced by authors when they have so many ideas, they know so many things, but the moment they sit in front of the computer or the typewriter, they do not know what to write. They cannot reduce into writing what is playing on their mind. It's as if an obstacle is stopping them from reducing into writing whatever that they have ideas or comments or reflections in their mind. Okay, now these common problems, I will put it aside for a while because I want to go straight into the three-step process in doing literature review using ATLAS.ti. As I mentioned before, these three steps are very common, as you can see in the circles on your screen. Okay, the first one is to prepare the literature. Second one is to go through the literature, and the third one is to prepare the review. Now let us begin with the first step first. If we are using ATLAS.ti software for the purpose of literature review, then I'm gonna speak about this first step on preparing the literature within the context of ATLAS.ti 8 Windows. This would involve getting the literature from any sources that we may find the literature, maybe online databases, maybe offline databases, maybe it's a textbook document, maybe it's a hard copy document. Okay, so long that they are literature, then we are collecting them, and then we are going to add them to the ATLAS.ti project. Okay, uh, because we have multiple types of documents. Some of these documents, they would have shared attributes or shared characteristics. For example, they are published in the same year, or they are published by the same author, or in the same journal, or data collection was conducted um, uh, in one particular vicinity or one particular country. So this shared characteristic enable us to group certain literature into groups. Okay, and by all means, when I say that, one literature could fall into more than one group. Okay, because based on the year of publication, based on the author, based on the type of publication, maybe it's a journal article, for example, maybe it's a textbook, then one reference could be falling into more than one group. Now, let me just quickly show you two sample documents I'm going to use. Okay, number one is Capozzi et al. 2015, and the second one is Tucker et al. 2003. Okay, these are PDF documents, but you have other documents in other file formats for your literature. For example, DOC, DOCX, TXT, RTF. They are also supported in ATLAS.ti. So let me just open it just to show you that the niche I am referring to using as a sample document in our webinar today is the impact of sports on health. Impact of sports on health. Okay, and this one was published in BJSM Online First, and it's a journal article. And the second one is Atake et al. The impact of stretching on sports injury risk. Okay, for example, this one. I have these documents readily available, and I want to add them to the ATLAS.ti project. Now, the icon, the shortcut icon for ATLAS.ti 8 Windows is, as I am circling here on my desktop, it says ATLAS.ti 8.0, and the icon is actually a red in color with transparent background, and there is a small digit which is at 8, okay, below there. If you're familiar with ATLAS.ti 7 Windows, then this is the icon, similar A, but it does not have any numbers digit on bottom left hand side here. So I'm going to open ATLAS.ti 8 now. Okay. Right. So the first interface that we will see, okay, is on your left-hand side. ATLAS.ti will list out for us the recent files, recent projects that we have worked on the uh, software, and on your right-hand side top, you will see the options that you can create your project. Okay, if you want to create a new project, you click on this first option. The second one is you have a project bundle, which is a backup file from ATLAS.ti 7 or 8. Okay, you can click on this one, or you have a mobile project. Maybe you have added literature to your iPad or Android. Okay, ATLAS.ti iPad or ATLAS.ti Android. You can export it to be imported into ATLAS.ti 8, or you have ATLAS.ti 7 project or 6 or 5. Either it's a hermeneutic unit or a copy bundle, okay, from earlier versions of 5, 6 or 7, and you want to add them as a legacy project in ATLAS.ti. You want to open the project from earlier versions, you're going to click this one. But because this is a demonstration, I'm going to choose on create new project. The project names, I'm going to name it sports and health. Okay, and I'm going to click on create. Okay, now it's already here. Where if you're using any Microsoft applications before, you will see that there is a ribbon on top here, and that ribbon is divided into tabs. Okay, first I have file, second is home, search project, analyze, import, export, and also support. The common or the main tab you'll be using is the home tab. So if you're missing any, you do not know where to go, for example, along your literature review, you can simply just go back to the home tab where all the main options will be available on top here for you to choose. Okay. On your left hand side is the explorer bar, where you will see a tree view, okay, of your projects, sports and health, for example, document 0, code 0, because we have not added any. Once we have added, you can access it using a tree view. Okay, you click on documents and all the documents will be itemized here. Codes will be itemized as well. Because we want to add new documents, okay, we can add new documents over here by clicking on the add documents. Oh yes, before I do that, I will also, if you do the drop down menu here, you will you see more options. Okay, you want to add individual files or add all files from an entire folder, or linked video or audio or new geo documents. Because we are using ATLAS.ti for literature review, you can have a specific folder containing your literature, or you can just add individual files. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, I have composite and Taka have been selected, and I'm going to click on open. Excuse me. Alright, now you will see that the tree view has already been shown here. Where I click on the word document, it will open a document manager for me. Okay, or I can also simply double click on the tree view. Okay, you can either collapse or expand this one, and your document will be shown in front of you. If you're rather new to ATLAS.ti, okay, you will see that one of the strengths of ATLAS.ti is it maintains the pen and paper concept. So whatever literature or whatever document that you have in your project, the largest segment on your screen will be showing your data or your literature, your document, whereby on the right hand side will be a smaller segment where we call it as the margin area. This is the area where your where all the codes, all the memos will appear, okay, as in how you would see your data or your literature anyway in pen and paper concept. Okay, your document is over here, and your codes or ideas or jotting down of comments will be shown on your right hand side over here. Okay, all our versions of ATLAS.ti 7, 8, they also maintain the same view. right? And when you double click on another document, it will also show like that. Now, an improved the version of document manager is you will see bottom here there is a preview as well as a comment. So when I click on one document, you'll be able to see the preview of that document, also an area where you can type in your comments. For example, maybe you want to type in the citation of the reference, okay, maybe of the what is the title, document name, and all, and you can save them, whereby you can also do the same for the other documents as well, right? Now, in some situation, you will see that there are shared characteristics between these documents that we have, okay, whereby you can view them in the Group Explorer on your left-hand side over here, whereby you will see, for example, I want to put these two documents, okay, into the group of literature because they are literature, okay. So I will select them and drag to the left hand side over here, where the system will ask me what is the name that I want to put it is my literature, okay. For example, it's already there. The group is my literature in bracket number 2 to show the size of that group, okay. But what if I want to go by a year, okay, document 2015, so year 2015, and Thacker year 2003, okay, for example, okay. Maybe today I want to read only the literature published in 2015, so I will click on that group where all my literature published in 2015 will be listed here, which is very useful for the purpose of our management of the literature. Now, I realize that many of us are already using bibliographic reference managers such as EndNote or Mendeley, which is very good because they can help us to build up the list of references as well as the citation of our references in our write-up. Okay, of course, this session is not to give an overview of how to use the bibliographic reference managers, but what I want to say here is if we already have literature in our bibliographic reference managers, for example, EndNote or Mendeley, we can, at the click of a few buttons, okay, export those references from EndNote or Mendeley to be imported into ATLAS.ti as documents, okay, by using the Import Export tab. You will see one of the options, it says here EndNote, okay. Although it says EndNote, it's actually importing a reference manager data, and the format of the importable data is XML, okay. It must be XML file format. Now, how to create the XML file format, it depends on what type of bibliographic reference manager that you are using. If you are using EndNote, for example, now in this example, this is EndNote 16, you have, for example, 10 references inside here. You can create an XML file of all those 10 documents by selecting the documents and going to File, Export, and choose the CSS type to be XML.xml. If you choose .xml, then this format will be supported to be imported into ATLAS.ti. Now, if you are using Mendeley, for example, it's very much similar, okay? You can do a selection of all the references, and then you're going to go to File, to Export. Again, you're going to choose the CSS type to be EndNote XML, because if it's an in XML format, it will be it will be supported in ATLAS.ti. Now, before I go and show you how it looks like in the XML file and how to add it to the project, you will see the sample 10 documents that I have in front of me. They are published in multiple years. So when I click on the year, I'll sort it. I see some documents published in 2016, 2015, and 2014. Okay, why it is significant for me to show you this is because when it is exported into XML format, ATLAS.ti recognizes it, and ATLAS.ti will be able to group our literature based on this characteristic. All literature published in 2016 will go to the group of 2016 literature, 2015 into the group of 2015 literature, as well as 2014. Other characteristics are publication type. Okay, for example, this one is few literature published in BMC Public Health. Then these four literature will be grouped together automatically when we do the importing of the XML file in ATLAS.ti in a short while. Like for Springer Plus, two of these documents published in Springer Plus, they will be added to the group of Springer Plus. Other characteristics are authors, maybe Coco, because Coco have written two documents. These two documents will be added as as a single group in ATLAS.ti in a short while. Okay, so when we do the export into XML, it will be something like this. Okay, sports and health.xml. And those 10 references have been exported into XML so that we can import them in ATLAS.ti by going to the tab Import Export, click on EndNote XML, and choose the XML file that we want. It's on my desktop, so it's here. Okay, click on Open. I can also choose, because it says here, authors, language, periodical name, publisher, and type are imported as document groups, which is yay! It will cut short a lot of process in us doing manually grouping the literature based on their characteristics. I can also create document groups from the first author only if I want, because sometimes some authors, they write uh, the the article on their own, and sometimes they write in books, in groups, okay, in multiple authors. And also do the selection if you want to create document groups from the following metadata: edition, volume, source. I'm not gonna add these documents. And how I want my reference to be named, I want them to be author year. Okay, so I will automatically rename the reference so that it will be easier for me, easy for us, the users of ATLAS.ti, to look at our document names. And if that document does not have any full text document, we want to import abstract as the document. And then I'm going to click on import. Okay, the system is now adding the end references. Okay, it depends on the size of the document that you want. If you are adding hundreds, then it might take a longer time. Once done, it will tell us, yeah, these 10 documents have already been added. Here they are. Okay, my documents D3 until D12 are all the documents that I have added from the XML file. Okay, as evidence, I will just double click on any of these documents to show you that, the actual PDF documents have been added to our ATLAS.ti project, which is very, very time saving. Okay, and when I open my document manager, just to show you that the groups have been created based on the year. Okay, you will see based on the year, 2016, 15, 14. Okay, this one I have added manually just now. Okay, and periodical, 2 documents published in Springer Plus, 4 documents published in BMC Public Health, which is very, very useful. When I click on one document, I will also see, okay, the preview, okay, the preview of that document, as well as whatever information that we got from the EndNote XML file just now, in terms of the author, in terms of the place of publication, in terms of the citation as well. This will be very useful when we are already using bibliographic reference managers. Right? Now I'm going to save the project. And I will move on to the second step, because the first step is you get the literature, add it to the ATLAS.ti project, and you group them into groups. Either you group them manually or you group them from XML file, because the grouping will be automatic, done by ATLAS.ti. Now the second step is to go through the literature. Excuse me. The second step is to go through the literature, and there are few features in ATLAS.ti which are in place to help us to read and understand the contents of the literature that we have. Now, I know this technical part is quite short process, okay? I can show you in a very short amount of time how to do the segmenting, how to create word crunch and word cloud, how to do the coding, memos. However, in real life, definitely reading through or going through the literature will take the longest time in our literature review process because it requires us to sit down and give our fullest attention to the contents of the literature. Alright, now first and foremost is the segmenting. Segmenting simply means selecting or highlighting or breaking the literature into smaller chunks. Okay, when of course we have this literature, we know that that literature talks about one specific concept, but what are the specific segments of that literature, because they might be talking about different things. Okay, now if we are familiar with using highlighters to highlight our hard copy documents, that is exactly how we would see it in ATLAS.ti as well. Let me just show you, because this is an example of our literature, and I find this is an uh, important statement, okay, because it talks about uh, health benefits of sports, okay, physical activity. I know that this is an important part, so what I do is I do the highlighting, and I will go to create free quotation here, where the system will show in the margin area there is a bar. Okay, this bar indicates that there is a quotation, and this bar will depend on the size of that quotation. If it is one line, so it's going to be shorter. If it's an entire paragraph, then it's going to be longer. Okay, again, I'll just demonstrate that. How to do that is we simply do the highlighting and go to create free quotation. Now, in what situation we want to create a free quotation? Free quotation means it's a segment that we have highlighted in our literature, but we have not linked it to specific concept yet. Might be we're not ready to give what the code name for that particular selection, or it can also mean I know that this part is important, but it doesn't belong to any of one of the concept or codes. Never mind, okay, because ATLAS.ti will just lay out the feature for us to use, and at any time after this you can always go back to click on the quotation bar over here, and you'll be able to assign specific codes to it. Now, having this document in front of me, I know that there are so many things being mentioned in this literature, and I just want to get a general overview of what are the words or what are the keywords used in this document. Okay, rather than I go and revisit one by one of the paragraph or statements, I want to ask ATLAS.ti to give me an overview of the words or the keywords used in the literature or in a group of literatures. But first, I'm going to show you in this literature, Lakinya 2015, I can, with the document open in front of me, I will click on this option. This option on top here, where you will see it says word cloud as well as word list. Okay, word cloud as well as word list. First, word list. I'm going to show you the word list, and I want to send the output into a built-in tool, which is a feature in ATLAS.ti itself. Okay, these other options are very customizable. I'm not going to show them one by one, but the power of word list or word cruncher in ATLAS.ti is ATLAS.ti will do a breakdown of each and every one of the words in this literature and tell us how many times they have been mentioned in this literature by clicking on word crunching. And this is the report. It will be arranged alphabetical order, but if I want to sort it based on the count, okay, for example like this, the word health was mentioned 80 times. Activity was mentioned 77 times, physical 73 times, programs 40, program, intervention, resort. Okay, for example, now I have a general overview of the words or the keywords used in this particular literature. Another option is rather than I go to the word list, I can also create a word cloud by clicking on the word cloud option where the system will generate for me in a cloud format the keywords mostly used in our document. The larger the size of that word means the more frequent it is used in our literature. For example, physical mentioned 73 times, health mentioned 80 times, activity 77 times, beginning was mentioned 4 times. Okay, now this will be very useful to give me the idea. Alright, rather than I go for physical, now I know that the word activity is also mentioned quite a lot of times in this literature. Okay, I know what are the keywords being emphasized in this literature because it's mentioned most times as opposed to the other. We can, of course, it's highly customizable. Also, you can choose spiral or you can choose a typewriter just to show the arrangement of the words, how you want them to be arranged in the view in front of us. Alright, now when I am reading this literature, okay, for example, I find that this is talking about this particular statement. This is the definition of osteoporosis. Okay, as I am thinking that, alright, this is how or what is the definition of osteoporosis. So I want to do an open coding, meaning I want to label this particular statement with a specific code name. Okay, we call it as open coding or inductive coding or emergent coding. Okay, it means I am simply labeling this particular statement with a code name. Okay, click on, this is the place where I can click on it. Okay, click on this options that I see on top here. Okay, these options for me to do the open coding, and the name of the code that I want to put is osteoporosis define. Okay, click on create. It will be very useful as how you would see it traditionally as well. You have a document in front of you, you do the highlighting and you write on the side of that document just to show this is osteoporosis defined. Okay, here again, sport benefit is bone health. Okay, sport bone health. So I'm just gonna type there benefit bone health, for example. Alright, so this will be very useful, especially when we are reading our literature and I find, this part is important, so I will quickly go to open coding. Once you do the open coding, you will see that the codes have already been added to our list of codes in 3 view over here. Okay, you click on, you see benefit 1-0, osteoporosis defined 1-0. The first digit indicates that how many quotations or how many selections do I have for that particular code. Here I have 1. Osteoporosis defined, I have 1. Okay, now sometimes rather than we do the reading one by one and then we give in the code, okay, here might be, here it's talking about bone health as well. Okay, so what I do is I find benefit bone health, drag from the code explorer and drop it onto the highlighted segment where it will also be coded accordingly. Now this type of coding, we call it as deductive coding. Why? Because you already have the code names in the list of codes here. So what you do is you simply drag and drop from the list of codes to our data, right? But sometimes we also find that I think I want to have a specific list of codes. Maybe, okay, because some of our course participants, they have a specific chapter for their literature review, which could be chapter 2, okay, chapter number 2. So they have specific arrangement for that chapter 2. They simply add the list of chapters, subchapters as the list of codes. Okay, how to do that is by go to Home, New Entities, click on New Codes. Here I'm going to put 2.1 Introduction, 2.2 Concept of Sports and Health, 2.3 I'm going to type Issues in Sports and Health, 2.4 Benefits of Sports, 2.5 Conclusion. Example. Okay, I'm just going to show a very quick example here. Okay, all right. Okay, bone health. Okay, yeah, the ones that I have added, of course, it will be arranged alphabetically, or if you have numbers, the codes will be arranged numerically first before it goes for alphabetical. Okay, now I have the list of codes with 0-0 means I don't have anything yet. So what I do is I will simply do a highlighting and drag and drop. Okay, so it'll be very easy because what I do is I focus on the contents and I will let ATLAS.ti to I have done the highlighting just now. Okay. I will focus on reading and understanding, whereby I will get ATLAS.ti to do the understanding, not understanding, to do the management of my important points. I just let ATLAS.ti know these are the main concepts that I want to create as codes, and along the way when I'm reading, I will have the list of codes in front of me so that I'll be able to do the coding from time to time. Okay, I can move on from one document to another very easy because I will simply do the highlighting selection here and I will go for drag and drop. Highlight again, drag and drop. Okay, highlight again, and drag and drop. Okay, example very quickly. I don't even read. I just want to show you the technicals of doing it because that is how it will appear as well. Right. So, okay. Right. So along the way, you will see that these numbers, they will increase. Okay, why? Because when we find ideas or the concepts, we're gonna do deductive coding on this one, and then do find on issues as well. The numbers will build up, and at times you will also have new ideas. No problem, you can just simply go to the open coding because the open coding will help us to add new ideas over here. But sometimes you also have new ideas. For example, I need a space where I can put in my ideas. No problem, you can simply go to home to create a memo. Click on new memo because that memo is my reflection on sports versus health. Okay. Now, a memo is a space for reflection that we can type in our ideas, type in our interpretation or comments regarding one statement. Okay. For example, I always believe that sports will improve health condition. Example, and we also type in other statements as well. Okay, and we will save that particular memo. Also, this memo have already been added here. Okay, now you can add in as many memos as you want if you're using the full version. Of course, the demo version is limited. If you do not have the demo version, I'm going to give you the link in a short while how to get the ATLAS.ti 8 Windows trial version, especially if you are currently using the earlier versions of ATLAS.ti, version 6, version 7. It does not do any harm if you download the trial version of Windows ATLAS.ti 8 Windows onto your computer, because ATLAS.ti 8 Windows can run side by side with your existing version 6 or version 7. Now, of course, because it's a newer version of ATLAS.ti, it contains more features, improved version, the next level of features for your literature review, for your qualitative analysis of your data, okay, or of your literature in this part. Um, right, memos. What else? Oops, okay, I am supposed to talk about auto coding as well. We have done segmenting, word crunch, cloud, deductive, inductive, as well as memos. Now, auto code simply means I want ATLAS.ti to automatically code for me based on the instructions that I give. Okay. Now, example would be when I click on one document, it has the option of auto coding over here. Now, clicking on auto coding will open this option. What does it do? Auto coding creates quotations from the matches and codes them with the selected code. I want example situation is I want ATLAS.ti to find for me a specific keyword, okay, in my literature, and once found, I want ATLAS.ti to highlight the sentence containing that keyword and to code it with a specific code name. For example, I want to find the keyword health. Okay, ignore case, and I want to expand the match to sentence, any sentence at all containing the keyword health to be coded with a code name of health autocode. Okay, why do I put the autocode there is not compulsory, but I always advise my students to add autocode because we want to differentiate the codes that we generate using autocoding function, setting them apart from the codes that we do deductive and inductive codes, right? Great. Okay, so you will see that health autocode has already been added as a code in our list of codes, and the instruction is I want ATLAS.ti to find the keyword health in my documents, and once found, I want the sentence to be highlighted and coded with health autocode. Now, when I click on confirm matches, it means ATLAS.ti will need to confirm with me each time it comes across a sentence containing the keyword. If it's important, I will code it. If it's not important, I will skip it. Okay, for example, this particular statement, health insurance companies, if it's important, I will code it. ATLAS.ti codes it and brings me to the next one. Okay, if I don't want it, I will skip it. Or better still, I don't want to confirm matches, meaning please don't ask me each time. Okay, so I will now code it. Okay, ATLAS.ti will do the coding and it will tell me that there are 91. How do I know it's 91? Let me just do this. Okay, in my list of codes over here, the system tells me that there are 91 quotations for the code of health autocode because I do not get ATLAS.ti to check with me each time, but the risk is even irrelevant quotations will also be added. They could be header, footer, title, designation, a reference, a document name, a journal article title, okay, for example, will also be coded with health autocode because we do not confirm always. Therefore, it's always advisable to confirm first before we decide if it should be coded or skipped. Now, okay, very good. The last step is to prepare the review. Now, preparing the review will essentially involve creating outputs in ATLAS.ti, okay, in three formats: visual format, textual format, as well as numerical formats. Now, visual formats will be like a mind mapping idea. Mind mapping as in the sense that you have a bubble linking to another bubble, showing that this is the statement of that particular person. Okay, now let me just show you an example where I have the benefit of bone health over here. Okay, I want to create a mapping of idea for the benefit of health, and I will right click, choose open in network editor, the system will open up for me a blank. It's not so blank because we have this in the middle. It's like a drawing block containing the concept that we want, and I'm gonna bring in the quotation, import quotation neighbors. Here are the statements. Okay, it has been shown that sport participation is crucial for healthy bones. Exercise has been proposed as a key factor for developing healthy bones. Yeah, just to show you that, all right, this is the statement that, these are the statements that I found on the benefit of health, which is to create healthy bones. This quotation and this quotation. Now, my job is not done there because I need to see if there is any relationship between this statement to this statement. It seems that this statement agrees with this statement. Alright, that's very good. I will click on one quotation, see a red dot, bring the red dot, drop it onto the second quotation. Here it says it supports. Okay, this particular statement supports this particular statement, and I can save this network, okay, so that I will be able to use it in my report or PowerPoint. Okay, now at the moment I will close this one first because I want to show you an example project where I've created the network views just now. The name is Sports and Health Coded. Right, and the network is benefits of sports. Here it is. Okay, I am able to create, to find statements talking about benefits of sports coming from multiple documents, and I can also create the relationships. Just now I find that this particular statement is continued by this statement which actually contradicts this statement, and this statement criticizes this statement. It expands that statement which justifies this statement but actually supports this statement, and at the end of the day this statement explains this statement. Okay, now creating this is simply importing whatever objects that we already have in ATLAS.ti. But the best part of ATLAS.ti 8 Windows is we can change the layout of this particular network view by going to Auto Control 3. Okay, for example, I can change it by simply choosing which layout that I want. Do I want it to be circular? Do I want it to be organic? Do I want it to be a radial? Okay, wow. Okay, this is very nice because it will tell me, yeah, benefits of sport. But at the end of the day, what I want is for me to be able to see my statements talking about the benefits of sports, the concepts that I have indicated. But at the end of the day, I want to also see what is the relationship. Now, when I'm writing my literature review guided upon this network, okay, I'll be able to write, yes, benefits of sports activities is actually supporting exercise has been proposed as a key factor in healthy bone, included in the syllabus. Okay, for example, explains continued by having these linkages, it will very much help us in uh, putting ideas for our literature review write-up. Now, what if we don't use a network view output? Okay, we want to create textual output. No problem. We can simply go to the text. You can add output from the document itself. Okay, document manager. Document manager, you can create reports. Okay, all items. Maybe you want the content, the quotation. Okay, as well, and then you just simply create the report. Okay, right. Sports and health. Document report for Tucker et al., Capozzi et al., and you can save this report either as a PDF or a Word document, which will be very useful for the purpose of our reference for literature review write-up. Sometimes you also want to create outputs for the codes, okay, which is understandable because these codes are the concepts for your write-up, especially if you have created the list of codes following your list of subchapters for your literature review chapter. Okay, we want to create a report, meaning you want to create a report which actually tallies with your literature review subjects already. Okay, click on report. I want all of these, right? Plus what are the codes? Right? And I'm going to create the report. Here it is. Okay. For introduction, there are two quotations for concept of sports of health, sports and health. It will also help us to uh, uh, identify that statement. I can also go to report and choose which document I want it from. Okay. And grouping, no grouping. If you want, maybe I want to group it based on documents. Okay, click on report. Right, so it will help us based on tagger. There are two codes here. Okay, it will be very useful because we have the document, we have the codes, they have been arranged accordingly, and we can save them into the format of PDF or Word document. Alright, now another type of output is we can create a document table to show the code frequency of our specific codes. For example, I'm going to choose the autocoding code just now across all of my documents. Okay, oops, maybe I can just simply go very quickly. Okay. Alright, okay, yeah, I think I did autocoding on lacking only just now. Maybe I can just go very quickly to the other codes as well. Okay, alright, which will be very useful to indicate to us, yeah, this code appears 2 times in this particular document. This code appears 2 times in this document and 1 time in that document. Now, having a code document table will actually help us to have a general overview of which code was mentioned the most by which document, which will help us to make our literature review stronger because we will be able to show, this particular document talks mostly about the concepts, but it doesn't talk about the issues. Okay, for example, it will help us to put a description, put more critical analysis for our literature review write-up. Okay, right. So this other three-step process in doing a literature review using ATLAS.ti, let us very quickly revisit the three problems on how the three problems in doing literature review. Number one, there is no system to manage the literature. Actually, when you are using ATLAS.ti, ATLAS.ti serves as a complete system to help us manage the literature. They are all in the document manager. You can group them into specific groups based on shared characteristics. You can also view only that document, filter only those documents within the specific groups, okay, for the management of the literature part. Second problem, there's no system to manage the important points in the literature. In fact, when you are using ATLAS.ti, it provides a complete system to manage the important points. By having the code manager, it will provide us a platform for us to keep track of what are the concepts that you want, how many quotations for that particular code that you already have. Okay, for example, and it keeps building up as you go along, reading your literature from time to time, so you will know this is the most frequently mentioned problem of sports and health in your subject matter or in your topic, for example. The third problem is the writer's block. In fact, when you're using ATLAS.ti, the reports generated from ATLAS.ti actually serves as a guidance for you to prepare the literature review. Okay, you can have them in visual format, you can have them in textual format or in numerical format, and you can put them aside in front of you, and as you are writing the literature review, because this will help to eliminate the writer's block problem so that you can do the write-up. Okay, before I open for Q&A, I want to talk a little bit about backing up of your projects. If you do a significant change in your ATLAS.ti project, so please be advised to create a backup at the end of the work session, especially if you will be closing the application outright. Okay, maybe you want to close the computer, you want to shut down the computer, or you want to send for reformatting, which is a very common problem. People send for reformatting your laptops. You need to create a backup for your research, for your literature review project. Okay, it stores the project documents and all of the work done up to that moment, because first you need to save the project and then only you can create the backup. The format is ATLAS.ti project.purge. Okay, ATLAS.ti project. And once you have this file, ATLAS.ti project, you will store the backup file in an external drive or upload it to the cloud storage, email to yourself. Okay, for example, anywhere which is safe for backup purposes. How to do that is to go to File, Export Project Bundle. So I now have my project. I will go to File. I will choose Export, and I will click on Project Bundle. Okay, clicking on Project Bundle. Okay, I can save choose the location. For example, I'm going to put it at the desktop, and I'm going to click on Save. Export. Project successfully exported. When I close this one, okay, and I minimize, right, I will see that this is the file that I have, which is in the extension of ATLAS.ti project. This is the file that I will add to my cloud computing, email to myself, or save onto external disk for the purpose of backing up of my project. I will now open for Q&A session, but I will leave the screen open just to refresh your mind about my email address as well as telephone number. So while you are crafting your questions, I will just very quickly bring you to the some of the websites that I recommend for you to visit for more information. Our official website at www.atlas.ti.com. On top here, you will see a lot of options that you can choose. Okay, if you're using ATLAS.ti 7 Windows, okay, or you want to upgrade, or you want simply to download the ATLAS.ti 8 Windows version, or you have the Mac version, iPad, you can go to support, learning, as well as institution. Okay, go further down. Okay, you can click on the download free trial version, and also upgrade older versions, which is optional, okay, if you are interested. And keep in touch with our social media, okay, as well as I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, user/ATLAS.ti01. Here you will find a lot of video tutorials which will be very useful for the purpose of our reference on using or how to better maximize the use of ATLAS.ti software, and also the ATLAS.ti Facebook page, okay, as well as other social media. Now, if you are interested to know the types of licensing as well as the prices, you can come to our website at atlas.ti.com. Here, on top here, you will see the order and pricing button. Click on it. It will bring you to the ATLAS.ti shopping cart, okay, where you can choose the types of licenses if you belong to an educational institution, or if you are a student, non-commercial and government. You can find other features, different types and pricings as well. Now, I have a few questions here. Number one, I have the earlier version of ATLAS.ti. Does the earlier version have this function to be used? Yes, of course. ATLAS.ti 7 Windows and ATLAS.ti Mac equally have the features for the purpose of literature review. However, because ATLAS.ti 8 is the latest version, it has more features and more easier. It involves less steps. Okay, if the previous version you need to click 5 times in 5 clicks, in version number 8 you will be clicking 3 clicks. Okay, for example, it has a lot of shortcuts, it has a lot of newer and better features. However, if you do not wish to upgrade and you want to maintain, you have a full version of ATLAS.ti, earlier versions, there are still features that you can use for the purpose of literature review. I have in the past taught classes on literature review using ATLAS 7 Windows for the purpose of literature review, for example. But now, because we have version 8, which has a lot more features, I focus on teaching version 8 only. If I already have files in the earlier version of ATLAS, does the installing the new version will overwrite my previous file? No, it will not unless you choose to. Okay? No, it will not, because ATLAS version 8 can run side by side with your ATLAS.ti version 7. Okay. However, if you want to export your project from version 7 to version 8, you can do that. Okay. Click create ATLAS.ti project file, okay, a backup file from ATLAS.ti 7 and import it into ATLAS.ti 8. It would be helpful if accurate page numbers could be output along with quotations. For instance, the PDF file may start on its page 1, but this might really be page 373 of the original document. Is there any way to overcome this problem and allow Atlas to output quotation lists with accurate page numbers? Because if the PDF document is the first page, okay, because the article is 5 pages only, even if it starts at page 373 in that journal article, in that journal, okay, ATLAS.ti will recognize that it is page 1 until page 5. Okay. However, in order to overcome that problem, okay, what we do is we will add comments. Okay. Let me just show an example. I'm taking some of your time because I'm supposed to finish 5 minutes ago, but I think, can you bear with me for a while? Right, documents. Let me just go to code's introduction. This part. Okay, this is coming from. I should make it bigger. Okay, this part is coming from page 2 of the. It's not a good example because it comes. This article is at page 2. I should go to another one. Benefits, right? Okay, this is good. All right. Let's see the number of pages. Again, it's at page 2. Now assume, okay, assume that this is page 371 as mentioned by our friend just now. I can create a comment, okay. Okay, it's here. It should be on top here. Edit quotation comment. I click on that quotation and I can put edit quotation comment over here. Okay, here is gonna be, my comment is gonna be page 373 and save it. Okay, save comment. So that when I output benefits of sports, okay, benefits of sports, and I will create a report. I want to add the comments over here. Okay, okay, selected item. And the quotation, make sure that I will choose tick at the comments so that when I create the report, document number 5 just now, okay, here it is already stated the page number that I want. Okay, this is the particular document. This is the particular document, and it will tell me the page number because I put there, although it shows it comes from document number 2 of that PDF document, in actuality I have added the comment, the quotation comment, to be 373. This will be very helpful if we edit the comment to put our page numbers. Okay, I think I have gone through my time. Okay, all right. So I will be very looking forward. Okay, I look very much forward to be in contact with you. Okay, my email address again, ani.munira at ATLAS.ti.com.